Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about this one TikToker who got in trouble with the law in a rather serious way. The one thing I did want to say is every time I cover a TikToker who is accused or is effectively guilty of a serious crime, and when I say serious crime, I'm talking about murder, abuse, so on and so forth, I think the weirdest part about it for me it's not that I think TikTokers are above anyone or anything like that. It's just that the way I was raised and with the big quote unquote criminals, because they're any type, but even just like the big serial killers, like Ted Bundy, all this shit, all these people are relatively still mysterious to us. But how weird would it be to think about Ted Bundy living today and having a TikTok account and being able to look back at his TikToks like the day before a crime, the day after a crime, stuff like that. I think the amount of information we have now is what weirds me out about the overlap of TikTok and crime. Does that make sense? And it doesn't matter if it's TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, whatever. It's the fact that everyone's life is so documented now that the mystery that I used to see, I guess, with a lot of killers, abusers, blah, 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 when I was a kid is now, well, I guess people can still decide to not document their lives, but the majority of people today in some way, shape, or form document their lives, and it's so weird to be able to trace it now. Does that make me sound ancient? I feel like I really did make myself sound like a dinosaur there. Regardless, here we go. So there's this TikToker called Mr. Prada. I'd never heard of this TikToker before, to be clear, never came up on my timeline. But before we discuss what exactly he did, I looked through his content, and the type of content he made was, I guess, relatable joke type content. Content like this, I'm probably gonna have to mute it, but you get the idea. Relatable content. Nothing particularly suspicious or strange, not necessarily the type of person you think might kill someone, right? Anyway, popular TikToker Terrion Mr. Prada Thomas arrested on murder charge. A popular TikTok creator who goes by the name Mr. Prada has been charged with second-degree murder and obstruction of justice in Louisiana. The East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office confirmed in connection to the death of a therapist whose body was found on the side of a highway over the weekend. So when I say I didn't see anything of suspicious, I didn't see anything that would indicate that this was going to happen. There are some accounts that I think are massive red flags. This one really didn't have anything that I would have seen. Terrion Thomas, 20, was arrested in Dallas on Tuesday after he was allegedly seen driving a stolen car of the victim, 69-year-old William Abraham, more than 500 miles from where his body was found. Abraham was found dead and wrapped in a tarp on the side of the highway near, I'm gonna butcher that, Parrish, Louisiana, about 60 miles north of New Orleans on Sunday. And local authorities said he was killed by blunt force trauma in a very physical and very violent attack. I know that the authorities probably can only give out a certain amount of information, but when they say a very physical and very violent attack, it is saying a whole lot of nothing. You could have just said that it's a physical attack and it does the exact same thing, because obviously it has to have been a violent attack or the person would not be dead. In the course of its homicide investigation, the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office said it found evidence indicating a violent struggle had taken place inside Thomas's home, including the discovery of a significant amount of blood and multiple sharp objects and other weapons, NBC News reported. Witnesses allegedly told police they'd seen Thomas dragging an object wrapped in a blue-colored tarp into the therapist's car, according to the BBC, and surveillance footage showed Abraham visiting Thomas's home in the same clothes he would later be found dead in. Authorities have not said how they believe Thomas and Abraham were known to each other, other than to say it does not appear Thomas was a client of Abraham. So the interesting thing about all of this is the reason that I looked into this story is because on TikTok, on Twitter, there's a lot of information going around that Mr. Prada was actually molested / abused / inappropriately touched by said therapist. And that was the reason why this murder took place. So it was like a murder to avenge what happened to him. That's how it was being portrayed. As of this article, that does not seem to be the case because several now viral videos from other TikTok users dissecting the case have been posted speculating on the relationship between Thomas and Abraham. Internet sleuths have claimed Thomas was connected to a 2015 arrest of Abraham in which he was accused of inappropriately touching an 11-year-old client, but a former attorney for the therapist told NBC News Thomas was not the boy involved in the prior case. Abraham was never formally charged. This does not seem, as far as we know, to be the reason as of now. Now, is it possible that the therapist Abraham molested, abused, whatever, that other child and did the same to Mr. Prada? Yes, that's possible, but as of now, there's no reason for us to necessarily believe that because nothing effectively is leading us there. But the internet is going crazy with this theory, and I was actually convinced that this theory had a level of truth behind it before I started doing research because I saw it everywhere. That's why I started looking into it, because I was like, that's crazy. And then I saw this. This was posted 7 hours ago as of when I'm filming on Thursday night, so hopefully by Friday I'm still correct in this. If there's a correction needed, I'll put it in the pinned comment though. Another thing that social media is hanging on to is that this therapist actually used to be a Catholic priest. So a lot of people are putting together pieces of Catholic priest molesting / abusing children, blah, blah, blah. Now, I am as creeped out by a lot of priests as anyone else, but we just don't have proof for any of that right now. Yeah, so I looked at 4 other articles in regard to all of this to see if any other articles had additional information about the relationship between Terrion, or Mr. Prada, and Abraham, but there is no additional information. In fact, the majority of the articles are saying that they're still trying to ascertain what the nature of the relationship was between the two, like how they even knew each other, if they even knew each other. All of this is still up in the air, so just don't believe what you see on social media right now because it's actually crazy how a lot of people are trying to make this pass as actually concrete info. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys next time.